All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol NNDM, Nano Dimensions. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And before we jump into this chart, I do want to announce that I have a Twitter account now. I plan on tweeting on here anything that I'm watching or anything that looks like it's having momentum and movement. So I highly recommend coming over to the Twitter. Believe it or not, I did join in November and I haven't announced it because throughout the month of December, briefly when I could, I would come over and try to learn the whole thing about Twitter because I've never had a Twitter, never used it, and I've learned pretty much so far how to post and so forth and retweet, and I look forward to learning more throughout the process. But I'm going to put the link down below, and if you can't find it through the link or the link's not working, it's Invest for Tomorrow 1 with a 1 at the end so that you know that's me. There's only one Invest for Tomorrow, and that'll be that one. So there will be watch lists. I'll post the videos there as well, the links from YouTube, so that others can see it. It can be retweeted and shared, and so that the insight can be passed along with other investors, right? But the main thing is for you guys to have access to communicating with me, whatever I post, retweeting it, or commenting down below, and then also seeing whatever my screener and I, through whatever I'm seeing for the day, I'm watching, right? So you guys have access to that through there. It won't be every day. It won't be every hour. It won't be every 5 hours. It will be sporadically until I get the hang of it, and then at some point I will post every day, what I'm watching or what's moving, and ask questions and get everybody involved. That's the whole point. Every single investor involved on their due diligence and what we're doing so that we're all better equipped. So pretty cool stuff that I look forward to doing there. And then every day I'll post 1 or 2 videos from YouTube, the links on there so people can go ahead and receive that insight. So Nano Dimensions, let's see our new resistance and support. And the big news is that Ark Invest continues to buy. Now, they were a little hesitant, and I've come to notice that when they're hesitant, it's not because they don't feel confident. It's just that sometimes they feel like they can get a better discount, and when it's running up, they feel like that's the best price they're going to get for the next coming days. I've come to find that out sometimes. It's not every time. So our lowest support level here in bearish candlestick is 826. So I'd write that down. Super important number. If that gets broken through, this could be on its way down to newer lows. The 50-day moving average is 877. As long as we're below it, we're in bearish territory. The moment we're above it, we're in bullish territory. So the bulls definitely want to break through that to get back into bullish territory, but they need to break through resistance to reach newer highs. But our support level here before getting down here to 826 is literally to the T right there with the price, 845. It's probably a difference from the hundreds or thousands place. 845, if that gets crossed, then the next nearest one would be right here at 839. And then we have 826 as the next support level to watch how this is doing. If this breaks through all these support levels in 826, the next support level would be down here at this point at 806. I want every single investor to be aware of that as well. Now, on the other hand, we have our resistance. Now, if this resistance does get crossed, the next resistance level, which is the highest point before the fall, is 948. I want every single investor to write that down if they can. And then the next one with the volatility and the upward movement is 999. That's where the rejection started. But before getting to those points, the first resistance level after crossing the 50-day moving average is 898. This needs to be broken through and turn into a support so that the bulls can pull away from it and reach newer highs. Okay, so that is the most important points right now in cues based off the chart. We'll touch base on that in just a moment again. But let's talk about Ark Invest. So Ark Invest yesterday on the 4th, this is Ark W. They were at 3,660,120 shares, right? That's how much they had. And today they have 3,685,268. So when you do the math from that point where they were at to where they're at now, they went up by 25,000 shares in Ark W. Ark W. Very important to keep that in mind. Ark W. Now let's see the other investment portfolio. So this is the portfolio when we were tracking it. I was talking about how Nano Dimensions, once it was like 3.5, it's going to reach 4, 4.5, and probably even 5 million. So when you see how hesitant the Ark Invest fund was on W, you're going to be surprised how spontaneous this was, that they just loaded up this much on this end. So I've come to notice, and I'm watching for when they're hesitant, but this is the true one where they're loading up. And a lot of people would have thought that this is where they'll be hesitant. Why? Because once they reach 5 million, they have to do a special filing. Well, guess what? They were not hesitant at all. They went ahead and loaded up a total amount of 160,000 shares. 160,000. They have 5,008,000, and they went from 4,848,000. That's 160,000 shares that they went up on, and a total of 185, almost 200,000 shares. I believe that this is going to continue to load up. Like now that they passed 5 million, they're just going to continue to add to this one. Ark Q and Ark W. I know a lot of investors were like, hey, I don't think they're going to add anymore because once they pass 5 million, well, here we are seeing it. I saw it coming. Now, they could kind of leave this one here and pause and start loading up on the other one. But I think they're just going to be just as aggressive in both of them because they see Nano Dimensions being the top 15, top 10 of this list. That's the only reason why I could see them doing that. Literally. So, very interesting and very important to watch this and see this because they're now at 5 million. Now, they were hesitant on Ark W. I'm actually waiting for them to be much more aggressive here because they're loading up hundreds of thousands over there and just a few thousand over here. So that's something to watch for. But very important is how they react when it's going down and when it's going up. Like I stated earlier, when it's going down, I've noticed them to be a little bit hesitant because they usually see room for a better discount, but they load it up. Ark W would have fooled you and said, hey, they're being hesitant. That's why we need to watch both of these. And Ark Q went ahead and shows you otherwise, right? They loaded up 160,000. Now, when it's going up, I've seen them load up the same amount of shares. So to the investor and viewer that states, which they've stated this before in one of the comments below in one of the videos, that Ark Invest does not care where the price is. They continue to load up on NNDM. I mean, that is becoming more and more obvious. And before it was more of like a theory or like it's kind of a correlation. Now it's like they're just putting it out in your face like, hey, I buy here, 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 I buy here. I'm going to buy up here, I'm going to buy up here. They have not sold. Ark Invest has not sold to this point. Very, very interesting stuff. They see a lot of room, like I continue to say. They continue to load up, right, on these shares. They hit 5 million, like we were talking in the previous videos. And now, here we are with a total amount of almost 9 million. I see them loading up together in both a total amount of 10 million, whether there's 4 million here and 5 and like almost 6 here, or it's going to be 5 and 5, and then they're going to open up another position in another ETF. Who knows? But they are bullish. This double position here is like very bold on their end. Some interesting stuff. So I look forward to seeing your guys' thoughts down below. How do you guys feel about Nano Dimensions? How do you guys feel about Ark Invest doing this? They reached 5 million. Who would have thought that? Now they have to do special filing according to what research that I've done and I've seen other investors say. How do you feel about that? What does that mean to you as an investor? Very interesting stuff, huh? So for those of you that have stayed tuned till the end for this stock and this ticker symbol that I've come across, awesome for you guys, because you guys are going to get this extra information. For those of you that saw it yesterday and already commented down below, you guys might have gotten it right or you guys might have missed it. But it's Skills Inc. They loaded up 215,000 shares yesterday. When we go ahead and we look over to today's positions on Ark W, 462,000 shares. Their position has also already tripled, right? Or basically doubled. It was like 4 million and now we're at 10 million. When I pull up this chart, you guys are going to be surprised on how this is moving. Definitely add this to your watch list if you haven't already. I may start watching this one and following it because it's in Ark W. Everything in Ark W is either innovative, it's a big tech, or disruptive, right? Everything. Look at this list. I always talk about it. Look at the list. And another one that they keep on loading up on, and I've been talking about it in previous videos, right, is Open Door. 3.1 million. And here we are. 3.4 million. 3.4 million. That's a big deal. Big deal. And their position is already up like 20 something million from yesterday to today. That's a big deal. And the fact that they continue to load up on shares, they are going to make this past Zillow because they were late on Zillow. That's how they feel. I can imagine their sentiment. This is almost valued, their total position, as much as Zillow, and it's going to probably pass it and end up in the top 10 if they're getting in early, right? Quote unquote, early on time. Some big stuff here going on with Ark W. But Skills is brand new and fresh, and they doubled it up. They doubled it up. I look forward to seeing those of you guys that commented before it came up. I look forward to seeing your guys' opinions on that and what you guys think about this stock, because look at this chart. I mean, just from yesterday to today, and I talked about it yesterday, it went from $18 to $23. That's a big run. And it started down here, and that's when they started to buy. It's like this was the hype. Like I could just see Ark Invest approach. This was the hype. Let's see what happens. Cool down phase. They started seeing a point of almost reversal, and if they bought too early, they just doubled down again down here, and then they continue to buy on the way up, and here we are. They're buying on the way up. That's a bold statement from Ark Invest. So I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. For those of you that have tuned in till the end, and if you're a first-time viewer and investor coming across this channel, definitely click on that subscribe button. Don't forget to click on the bell so that you guys don't miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.